There are over 1,000 posters at EADS, but we've been picking out some of the top ones for you. And I'm delighted to introduce two people with a poster about the different sex difference, gender differences in diabetes, and introduce yourselves, please, ladies.
I'm Rianneke de Ritter, and I am working at the Maastricht study, a large cohort study in Maastricht in the Netherlands. And we are looking for sex differences in the risk on cardiovascular disease associated with diabetes.
I'm Carla van der Kalle. I'm a board member of the Maastricht study and a co-promoter of the PhD traject of Rianneke.
Okay, tell me about your findings that you presented today.
First I would like to start with telling that when you compare healthy women with healthy men, women in general have a more beneficial cardiovascular risk profile. But then when we compare women with versus without type 2 diabetes and with prediabetes, and then we compare it with men with versus without type 2 diabetes and prediabetes, then we find that women have more adverse cardiovascular risk factor differences and a higher increased risk on developing cardiovascular disease.
Is this what you expected to find? Was this anecdotally known and you've now shown it, demonstrated it conclusively?
Yeah, the study tells us that in women the risk factors relatively are higher compared to the normal individuals. That does the study tell. And so it's already present in prediabetes and not only in diabetes. So prediabetes is probably also a risk factor for cardiovascular disease.
Now, what does this mean for the average practicing clinician?
It's important to know that lifestyle could help with preventing diabetes and with cardiovascular disease. This is the case for both women and men. And now in scientific research we are distinguishing between women and men, and we hope in the future to know the exact biological mechanisms before this, and then we hope that sex-specific or person-specific prevention could be managed, but that is not the case right now.
And very interesting, because women often don't think of themselves as being at greater risk of these sorts of things. It's very well known that men are at greater risk of cardiovascular disease, certainly in middle age and pre the menopausal age. And so I guess women don't think that they're at risk. But your study is saying that really they could be.
Yes, it is also important here to mention that it is a relative risk. And that does mean that when we compare healthy women with healthy men, women have a more beneficial, or generally a more beneficial cardiovascular risk profile. But the difference between women with type 2 diabetes and healthy women compared with men with type 2 diabetes and healthy men is bigger. So the difference is bigger, which does not necessarily mean that women with type 2 diabetes have, for example, a higher blood pressure than men with type 2 diabetes. But the difference is bigger between healthy women and women with type 2 diabetes. And I think it's very important that awareness is created for that, so that healthcare professionals know about that. And maybe in the future we can make sex-specific prevention methods for it. But it does not necessarily mean that women with type 2 diabetes have a higher risk than men with type 2 diabetes.
But it just means you have to look out for them and create a great awareness.
Yeah,
sure.
Okay,
yeah. Sure.
Thank you very much. Well, that poster with its very interesting conclusions you can find on EASD.org.